what sick means and how to use it correctly. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below. You're perusing a news article when there, right in the middle of a quote, is the word sick encased in brackets. But why sick? The shortest possible answer to that question is this: because Latin. So, what does sick actually mean? Well, like for example, or exempli gratia, mea culpa, and countless other terms, sick is just another word we've borrowed from the supposedly dead language. It literally means thus or so, as in sic semper tyrannis, which means thus ever to tyrants. But, that hasn't stopped people from coming up with a slew of backronymous that describe it in slightly more detail, like spelling is correct, said in copy, said in context, and so on. Even though sci isn't a new device, English writers only started using it around the late 19th century, according to the Oxford English Dictionary. So, here's how to use sick correctly. Sick is often placed inside brackets or parentheses, and it may or may not be italicized. As for when you might want to use it, there are a couple different scenarios. One is when a quote features a typo, a misspelling, or a grammatical error. Once you've dropped sick to call attention to the error the first time, you don't have to include it if the same error appears in a later quote from the same source. Sick can also come in handy if you're writing something that the reader might accidentally interpret as a mistake. Merriam-Webster cites the comic book Funny Aminals as an example. The misspelling of animals is intentional, but someone unfamiliar with it could easily just think you, the writer, made a typo. Convenient as sick may seem in theory, some consider it a problematic device. As the Columbia Journalism Review's Merrill Perlman put it in 2014, sci can come off as snarky, giving a sense of "we know better" at the expense of the original author. Some outlets recommend using it sparingly or not at all. In 2019, the Associated Press Stylebook announced that it would henceforth retire sick for good. Most people don't speak off the cuff in grammatically perfect sentences, the Stylebook tweeted. Using quotes that aren't necessary or calling attention to missteps with a sick that readers don't understand anyway serves no one. Instead, their experts recommend simply paraphrasing a quote if that's the best method to convey information in the clearest way possible. If the quote contains a grammar or spelling error, typos included, you can also use brackets to fix it directly. For example, if a source says using sick make the writer seem insufferably smug, you could update make to makes without employing sick and, proving your source's point. Making a correction in square brackets is somewhat less aggressive than deploying a sick, the Chicago Manual of Style Online explains. A rule of thumb is to silently correct typos, unless your judgment tells you either to be transparent or not to meddle.